Sorry about that. Hello, everyone who's watching. It's good to have you. We'll get going here in a minute. If you'd like to say hello, go for it. If not, it's okay. You can watch. This should be an interesting stream. I've actually got it planned out tonight. It's not. I'm gonna fly by the seat of my pants a little bit, but I've actually got a topic and something that I want to discuss at length. Welcome to the room. I'm just going to wait for a couple more people to join in, and I appreciate you all joining me tonight. I think there's some other people on. If you want to jump in and out and check other channels out while I'm talking, that's cool. It's up to you totally. But if you'd like to say hi, let me know who you are. If not, that's fine too. Tonight we're going to talk about what you need to know about coin prices and values. And that's kind of a general topic. Um, there's a lot that I want to cover tonight. And so let's wait just, 30 more seconds or so and see if anybody pops in. If you can hear me, please let me know. If I need to be louder, let me know. I need to know these things. So let me know how it sounds, because that's the most important thing. And I'm sorry, my phone just made a notification thing. Oh, my friend sent me a message. Okay. I can ignore that for now. So I hope everyone's having a good Monday night. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We got Thanksgiving coming up. It's always, well, depending on who your family is, it's nice to be around families during the holidays. I'm looking forward to that. And my mom actually is going to be down or over. She's in Wales right now, and she'll be back over here in a few weeks. So that'll be exciting. Okay. Well, while I'm on Facebook, that reminds me, if you have not joined, I've got a group that I started with John Miller called Coin Collectors of Facebook, and that's free and open to anybody that wants to join and discuss coins. So I hope you'll join. So today, or tonight rather, we're going to talk about coin prices and values. And I think those are kind of two different things. I didn't look up definitions, so this is my interpretation, but uh, a coin can have a certain given relative value, but that doesn't mean the price of the coin is going to match that value. And those prices for the same general coin can be all over the place. And I'm going to show you some examples of that tonight, too. And some of that, well, it depends on a lot of things. But number one, condition is a huge thing. But not only that, even if you've got the same coin in the same condition, you put it in a different venue or under a different seller, or see it listed in a different area, it'll go for more or less depending on the particular audience or like I said, or seller. It's not set in stone. The coin market is very fluid, and you kind of, I understand that, dealers have the gray sheet, for instance, and that's a lot of what they go by. But there are a lot of prices out there, and sometimes it's kind of hard to know what to pay, and you kind of have to look around and make an educated guess, because there are some prices that are some coins that the prices widely vary. One of the reasons for that can be, most obviously, condition of a coin. A friend asked me a few days ago, she said, David, I've got a friend who has an 1864 2-cent coin and wants to know how much it's worth. Well, let me show you the problem with that question. Hang on, let me load it up. The problem with asking a question like, what is my coin worth, is here we go. Okay, let's add this. Is this. Browse through my folders. Got it on my desktop, so my friend said, David, my person wants to know how much their coin is worth. It's an 1864 2-cent coin. Well, I don't know if you can see the problem here, but here's the problem. If it's an 1864 small motto that's brown, and it's in good condition, good for, it's a $198 coin. That same coin, 1864 small motto brown in mint state 65, is a $2,600 coin. On the contrary, an 1864 brown regular motto is a $16 coin in good, and it is a $375 coin in MS65. So when a person says, what is my coin worth, without seeing it, you can't know. And that's one of the reasons there's obviously a discrepancy among prices. But there are also discrepancies among prices in given listings, whether it's the gray sheet, the red book, coin values from Coin World, or PCGS, or NGC, or coinprices.org, which is it's considered fair market value, is what that the coinprices.org is. And this is actually where I got this price, or this example. So now let's take a 1909 SVDB and let's see how much it's going to run us. Alright, well, first off, let's go to Coin World. When mint state 65, red brown, let me make this where you can see it. Sorry, that's a little too big. I kind of got size happy there for a minute. Alright, so an 09S VDB, just an 09S VDB in Mint State 65, red brown, is $3,000 and $4,550 in red, according to coin values. All right, that's according to coin values. Now let's look at another price guide. Let's go to NGC. Well, they break it down a little bit differently. They break it down to brown, red brown, and red. And their prices for, again, the same coin are $2,800, $3,500, and $4,950 respectively. So now let's look at another example of, again, these are the same coins. Let's go to that was, all right, let's go to PCGS. Again, a 09S VDB, brown, red, brown, and red in 65. And here they even break it down even further. They have pluses and minuses because remember, there's quality in every grade. They list it anywhere from $2,850 to $3,250 within the same, not only the same grade, but the same color, but just a little bit different, a little bit higher quality. And then it goes up to $4,500 to $5,000. So how do you know what to pay? Well, again, it really kind of depends. Another thing that can affect value is who you're buying from. Hey, Thomas, how are you doing, buddy? For instance, I sell errors and varieties, and I cannot get the same prices that, say, Fred Weinberg or John Sullivan, who are both really nice guys, major error dealers. I've known John since I was a kid, and I've gotten to meet Fred numerous times and talk to him. They have the reputation, and they've been doing it long enough, they can get higher prices, and they can afford higher quality coins. And so just being a different person can make you get a different price or coin, or make you pay a different price. You might be able to get something cheaper from me or less expensive than you would from John, because he's got more people that are after that item, and I don't have a large following. So that's part of it. And sometimes, and this is what I really want to get at, when I showed you those prices for the PCGS and NGC and coin values, the price difference there with the same coins was all about this. And I'm going to show you, this is a silly example, but it works. Packaging. Slabs are just packages. They certify, but they are packages. Here's a package of hot cocoa mix, right? And here is a package of hot cocoa mix. This one cost a little bit more than this one. But I want to show you something. Now, I'm going to take one of the packs out of here. So we're going to hold on to that. We're going to put that away. That is Best Choice hot cocoa. All right. So this is the Best Choice hot cocoa. Keep this in mind. This is the Best Choice. This is the unopened Always Save. I didn't open it for a reason. This was more expensive than this. Now, I don't know if you can tell. In fact, let me remove one of my pictures real quick to show you so you can see better. Oh, that's not the one that I wanted to remove. Well, that's okay. Let me see which video capture. Yeah, we can remove that one. I want to show you this. This is interesting. Alright. Best Choice, Always Save. Now let's look at the back. Best Choice, Always Save. These are the exact same packages. And I paid more for this one than I did for this one. Why? Because of packaging, for one. Think PCGS versus NGC. And maybe because of who's selling it. I know I bought them from different people. And it may have been that this person was able to sell it at a different price because they happened to have, they either had more inventory or needed to get rid of inventory, or maybe they got the store got the products cheaper. There are multiple reasons for why you can get the same product, the exact same product, for different prices. But you can often seriously get the same coin for very different prices. And it's interesting to me. And again, that is an example of getting the exact same coin. Again, if I were to sell it, I would not be able to sell, I mean, again, if that were a coin, it was hot cocoa, obviously. But if that were a coin, I would not be able to sell it as high as someone that has 10,000 customers or 100 customers. And that's a fascinating thing to me. And I guess it's like that in a lot of ways. But so how do you know what to pay? How do you really know what to pay? Well, the one thing in the coin business, reputation matters. And as you build your reputation, as you get more and more well known and the more people hear about you, that's how you build your reputation, or one of the ways. And as you establish yourself, then you'll get more customers. And an example of this is, for instance, the difference between myself and, again, one of my best mentors, Bill Fiva. Bill Fiva gets really good prices, meaning he sells coins for a lot more than what I can. And one of the reasons is because he's considered, and rightfully so, like the best in the hobby, one of the best in the hobby, certainly the top three, or probably top three or two. And so you have more confidence buying from him. Plus, him being a legend in the hobby, it would be like buying a baseball from me or Babe Ruth. I mean, if Babe Ruth were still alive, who would you rather buy a baseball from? And who are you going to pay more? I mean, if I said, I want to sell you this baseball for $500, and Babe Ruth wanted to sell you the baseball for 10,000, you might want to go with the 10,000. And that goes along with pedigree too. A lot of the coins, you'll have different rarities, but even among those rarities, you have different prices. And one of the reasons for those price differences is who owned the coins before. Did it come from the David Smock collection that nobody cares about? Or did it come from the Bill Fiva collection, or the Dwight Manley collection, or the, let's see, who's another good one? Donald Kagan collection, etc. So a lot of it also has to do with reputation. So, and on eBay, I also wanted to show you, that's another thing. The same coins on eBay go for different prices too. Let me open up this and show you. Again, we're looking at the 1909 SVDB as for instance. Here we have, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, 3 different prices. And these guys accepted best offers, so who knows. We have a Mint State 65 red in GC, pretty reverse toning. They wanted $42.40 for it. And this one was, the next one was, and these are actually sold listings, was a 1909 SVDB MS64 red PCGS. They wanted $44.75. And then a 1909 SVDB PCGS Mint State 65 red brown, $2,000. That's a big jump. That's a very big jump. And part of that could be the different sellers. I mean, I didn't check to see who the sellers were, but as you can see, the first 2 listings were top sellers, or top rated plus, it says, and the last one is not. That could make a difference. And so, yeah, and Jenny, that's true. So the same coin in the same condition can go for a lot more for a lot of different reasons. including who's selling it, what holder is it in. Just what holder it's in makes a difference. Is it NGC? Is it PCGS? Is it a no name? For instance, there are a lot of, and another place. This really gets on my nerves, but I have to mention it. Another variation in price is you'll see very inflated prices on shop at home networks. I'm not going to name names, but you know who they are. I cannot watch their coin shows because they take really common coins, they put them in pretty holders, and they sell them sometimes for 10 times or more the price that they're worth, and they'll say, "This is Jim BU." What does that mean? That could be 63, that could be 65. That doesn't mean anything. And a 63 and a 65, and it might just be you're getting a silver dollar. You're getting a silver dollar. Okay. What year is it? What mint is it? How many were minted? What's the rarity? And again, is it a 63? I mean, we saw, even within the same grade, that it can be a huge difference. So places like the shop at home networks are notorious for this kind of stuff. And what really bothers me is they get stuff in bulk. One of the common questions I'm asked is, and this is an example. Yeah, I've got 500 2009 Denver Mint coins, and it's a Lincoln cent, and he's sitting on the log. Is that valuable? You just said you had 500 of them. If you've got 500 yourself, they're probably not valuable, or at least not that valuable. Rarity is a good indicator. And when QE, I didn't say it. I stopped my. I don't want to get sued here. I stopped myself before I said it. When shop at home networks sell these coins and they say they only have 10,000 left or 200 left or whatever the number is, they've got a lot of them, and they guarantee that they'll go up. I actually call these places and act like I'm going to place an order, and I'll have price guides in front of me, whether it's PCGS coin prices or NGC or even coin values. Also, you're looking, by the way, I should have mentioned this before. Are you looking at retail prices, or are you looking at wholesale, or are you looking, that's another thing you got to look at too. But I will ask them, I will have retail guides in front of me that you could never sell the coins at that price for in front of me, and I'll say, which guide are you using to price these coins? Is it this magazine or this publication or this website? And they, in all fairness, do not know, and that's because the people that answer the phones are just doing the job. They've got, hundreds of people answering their phones, taking orders, and it's really the big guys up top that buy from these coin dealers wholesale, and then sell at astronomical prices. And the thing that really bothers me is they are targeting new collectors. They're not targeting people that have been collecting for any length of time. Because once you start looking at what they're collecting and you start getting really serious about coin collecting, and when I say serious, I don't mean you spend a lot of money. I just mean you learn more. Because I consider myself a serious collector, and I don't spend hundreds of dollars on coins. I mean, if I get a coin for $30, I've put some thought into buying that coin. Believe me. Um, but these guys, they will charge these prices, and they will say this is a collectible. You'll never see this again. So buy this Morgan dollar for $100, and you know they'll show you a really pretty example. But I've even seen, again, on these shop at home networks, where they hold the coin and they'll and I'm gonna get a coin that I don't care about. It'll be on their little stand, and they'll pick it up and they'll say, and look at how pretty this coin is. Do you see how, and they've got their fingers all over it. And so every time they're touching that, they're destroying the value just a little bit more until it's worthless. And they may actually send out that coin. And nobody's going to want that coin that's actually a collector. It's ridiculous. It's crazy that someone would. And again, it's because beginners don't know any better. And I feel so bad for them. And another thing, too, this is kind of off topic, but it ties in. I see a lot of people who bring their coins into coin shops, and the is that part? Yeah, that's what my hair's sticking up. Sorry. Uh, they'll take their coins into coin shops, and they'll say, "My grandfather was a really, really, really serious collector, and he had the best taste in coins, and he bought the best." And the dealer will look at him and say, "You got $30 worth of coins here," and the person will be like, "No, I've got like thousands of dollars worth of coins here." And they'll think the dealer's being unscrupulous, and he may be, or she, because there are female dealers too. But more often than not, the coins really are not worth that much, and a lot of that has to do with the way the hobby has changed, and even the grading system has changed. You used to describe the coin, and that was it, but now we have very strict standards so that you know exactly what you're getting. And some of the old time collectors didn't do that. They had a completely different system. And I mean, grading is relatively new, especially the 70-point scale. And they even talked about going to a 100-point scale, and which I personally don't like the idea of. I think the 70-point scale is fine, but it can make a huge difference. And that said, you do have to be careful with unscrupulous dealers. I have a Mint State 66 1974D Eisenhower dollar. Now, if you look on PCGS, which it's not slabbed, all right, it's not slabbed, but it's a Mint State 66. and it's worth about $100. I just happened to get lucky, and it was in a mint set, and it's a really higher. I mean, not super high, but it's a higher grade for that year for Eisenhower dollars. Bigger coins get a lot of nicks, and this one doesn't have a lot of them, and it's got a lot of luster. It's a pretty coin, and I, knowing what it's how it's graded, have gone up to dealers and said how much. I don't have the money to get this graded or whatever. Hang on one sec. Hello. Yeah. Oh, good. You? Yeah, sure will. Uh huh. Yeah, that sounds great. Uh, you too. Thank you so much. Bye bye. So this coin, and by the way, I've had it looked at by PCGS and some independent professional graders, and they all say it's a 66, and maybe even has a shot at a 66 plus. And it's $100 coin in that condition, and I've taken it to individual dealers, and they're like, "Yeah, I'd give you about $10 for that. It looks like it's about a mint state 63." And I'm like, "There's no way that's a 63. You can call it. You can, if you're a really, really, really tough grader, you might call it one of the nicest 65s you've ever seen, maybe. But it's at least a mid 66. And so there are, and in all fairness, they would have to pay to get it slabbed. And slabbing, as you know, or as you might want to make note of, is not always worth it. If a coin is not worth $100, it's probably not worth getting slabbed. Slabbed meaning sent off to a grading company, getting put in these holders, which I didn't get this slabbed, by the way. I got this for free. It's just a 2017. Well, see, they say they didn't even put it in right. They did a sloppy job with it. Now, Jenny, I want to ask you: are you still in here, by the way, Jenny? Because I want to get off topic for just 1 second. Don't I know you from Cab Seven's room? Isn't it? Are you the one that your niece? Is it niece that has spina bifida too? Awesome! Thank you for joining. That is so cool. I hope I'm not boring you to death with my coin talk. Um, yeah, I love Cab Seven. He's so nice. Yeah, your niece. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, that's the one thing I like about coin collecting is, um, I never got into sports because I couldn't, but I can get into, coin collecting because all you need is your brain. My body does not work very well, but I can use my brain, and that's the great thing about spina bifida. I mean, if you're looking for a silver lining, the silver lining is the brain is not generally affected. I mean, unless you've got hydrocephalus, which I also have. But I mean, I've never had a malfunction that's really messed with my brain that much. I've had like emotional issues, and that's when we've kind of found out that my uh, shunt was messing up a little bit. But then we just go to the hospital, and I get it taken care of. Sorry, my hair is sticking up; it's bothering me. But yeah, so coin prices, you got to be careful. Also, now I've knocked some dealers, and I want to say this: there is a difference between a dealer cheating you and a dealer trying to make a living. Now, like let's say my coin, my Mint State 66 coin, the dealer says, well, it's going to cost me $30. Let's just say $30. $30 to get it slabbed, and I have to have profit. So your $100 coin, that knocks it down to 70 if I have to send it in, and then I have to get $20 profit, so I can give you $50. That is reasonable, and they're acknowledging the grade. They're acknowledging, yes, this is your coin. That's not cheating me, and they may have to even go a little bit lower, and that's okay. But to sit there and lie, some of them were lying, and some of them probably didn't know the difference. Some people don't know how to grade. I'm not saying I know how to grade very well. I'm learning. It's a very hard thing to learn. It takes years to master, lifetime to master, really. And so I think it's interesting. But so they may have not known. So, some of them may have not known what I actually had, but there were some I could definitely tell were trying to get the coin for cheap, and that does happen. So really, the question is, how do you know what to pay? Kind of get an average. You certainly, if it's a rare coin, like for instance the '09 SVDB, if someone says I'll sell it to you for $10, you better run away from that coin because it's a fake. If it's too good to be true, it is absolutely. I'm gonna make a blanket statement here. I'm gonna do it. If it is too good to be true, that is absolutely what it is. It is too good to be true. On the other hand, if that same coin is not slabbed by any company, there are three and really kind of four top companies. PCGS is top, NGC, Annex, and ICG is at the bottom. But really, PCGS, NGC, and Annex, or Annex. I've heard it said both ways. I say Annex. Those are your top three. This is a PCGS. Um, if you don't see it in a holder and it's a rare coin, don't even buy it. Even if even if the price sounds right, unless you know what you're doing. But you really have to really know what you're doing. There are a lot of Chinese fakes. I found out there is a website. I'm going to go ahead and name it because I doubt they'll ever be a sponsor. I don't have sponsored videos. Wish.com. You would be amazed at how many Morgan dollars are on there for $2 and $3. They're not worth $2 and $3. They're worth more than that just because of the silver content. That's because the reason they're selling for $2 and $3. They're Chinese fakes. They're not real Morgan dollars. They're completely fake. Thank you so much, Thomas. That would be awesome. Yeah, so I was on Wish.com and I was tempted to buy some coins, but the more I started looking at them, I'm like, yeah, these are not legitimate at all. You know, um, I mean, and it's not like they said copy. I mean, they were selling as legitimate Morgan dollars, and I said, nope, not gonna touch them, even if they're fake. You know, even just, I mean, I suppose you could buy one for educational purposes. Um, and someone did correct me. I had thought it was illegal to own counterfeits. It's not. You don't really want to advertise that you own counterfeits, and you never exhibit them. You never present them as the real thing. Um, for, for instance, I've got some artificially toned coins, you know, with the pretty colors, but it's artificial. It's not real. They've been altered, and I explicitly state these are just examples of artificially toned coins. Can't pass them off as real. That's not legit. But that kind of gets off into another subject. But anyone have any questions about pricing and kind of another way? By the way, as you start collecting, if you find a dealer, my glasses are all crooked. You can also develop. I the main thing you should do, in my opinion, is develop friendships in this hobby. Not only because, and this is the main reason, you get friendships, you start getting to know people and you start networking and you can start getting better prices that way. You know, I've got some people that they'll charge others twice what they'll charge me. It's just a couple people, but every little bit helps, right? Also, local dealers. If you're in a small town like I am, which is not that small, it's about 70,000, but it's not like New York or I don't know Detroit or whatever. Um, it's big for Arkansas, but anyway, uh, my dealer does charge. I don't want to say unreasonable, but he charges quite a bit for errors, which is what I'm interested in, and I would not buy errors from him because I do not think buying the errors are worth it. But others will because they don't have access to some of the guys that I know that I can buy them cheaper from. So if he wants to sell an off center for $40 and I can get them for 5 or 8 or 10 or 15, you know, he has the right to do that. But that's also why you'll see a price difference. So what do you pay? Well, look around. Look at all the resources that I've given you. And look at eBay prices realized if you're looking on eBay. If you're if you see coins on eBay or if you've sold any coins in the past. But be very careful about certain places, like I said. For instance, shop at home networks. Those are bad. I would never buy anything from them. Ever. Don't do it. Stay away from the dark side. So, any questions? I've already talked for like an hour. This was fun. I'm glad I had a talk. Well, not an hour, but a while. I've only been streaming for 50 minutes. Only 50 minutes. Well, does anybody have any questions? Did I bore y'all to death? I'm going to be going, by the way, with my mom, actually. I'm going with her to the Florida United Numismatists Convention in Orlando. I'm really excited about that. I'm actually going to do an exhibit. I'm not going to go into details about that because they are judged, and I would like to win, and I don't want the judges to know which exhibit is mine first. So, but it'll be cool. It'll be a neat exhibit. It's my very first exhibit at the Fun Show, and I'm really excited for it. You did. You started collecting pennies. That's awesome. Where do you get yours? By the way, do you go to? I go to my banks. I go to banks when I can, and get $25 worth of rolls. These, I think they might have already been looked through because if you look, it's these kinds of wrappers. That said, I don't think they've all been looked through, and I don't think that. I actually probably will start looking through some of these. I've got several rows left. But you can also buy wheat cents off of eBay and things like that. The only thing I would caution is often, although not all the time, but often when it says unsearched, it doesn't mean unsearched. They're just trying to sell you coins. Not always, but sometimes. I have a friend of mine that owns a store, and when she gets pennies, sometimes they come from Mike the Mint. And I buy a whole roll off of. So she gets mint rolls, uncirculated rolls. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but I actually get get circulated rolls when I can. Again, even though grade is important, grade is the most important. You get more variety of years with circulated rolls. Like, I'm just curious to see. Let's just grab a random roll. And I'll show you what kind of gears we got. Alright. Now, again, the downfall with, just a little lesson here, the downfall with getting circulated rolls is you might end up with coins like this. And, yeah, even if that is an error, good luck. Let me pop back up my USB cam, and we'll go through some rolls if y'all want. And if y'all need to go, that's cool too. I understand. But I might as well look at look at some rolls while I can. I'm going to make myself small. By the way, Jenny, this is a USB camera. I mean, a USB microscope, pardon me. And just connects to the computer. And let's make myself smaller. That might be a little small. There we go. I'm going to move some stuff. Okay. Because I need to get to my USB microscope. I normally wear gloves. But with circulated, you don't always have to. It's a good practice to wear cotton gloves, but you don't always have to with circulated. Now, I do want to show you something interesting on this coin. We have some thickness, and it looks like almost split on In God, but that's actually just damage there. That's not doubling, that's just damage. And that 9 looks like it's got some dirt built up. As these coins get worn, they get flattened out and get dings and damage in different places. And it can be kind of confusing, especially to a beginner, to try to figure out what they're looking at. Here's another coin. Now you can take, I have been told, I do not recommend it and I am not endorsing it. You can take acetone, pure acetone, and I think just dip the coin in the acetone and take it out and dab a soft cloth or paper towel, dab, not rub, but dab, and that can get off some of this grime and crud. But I would not risk it. And I wouldn't use anything else, by the way. If you're a beginning collector, every time that you clean a coin, all you're actually doing is taking off the top surface of metal, which, think about it, that's really just another way of saying you're eating away the coin. And if you're eating away the coin, it's not desirable. Here's what's this? 1994. Okay. Nothing special there. And literally, this is what I do. I'll just sit here all night sometimes and go through rolls trying to find mainly doubling on these newer coins that have the shield on the back. Um, because of the way they produce coins now and produce dies, I should say, it's much harder to see doubling, and I don't like that. So I kind of hate this design, but that's just me. Here's another. Pardon me. And a little bit of a yawn. Ah, that was a hair. Still is a hair. I can't get it. Aha! That's gross. Really should not be touching that coin like I am. Do as I say, not as I do. Do not touch the coins. And that's another hair, or the same hair. Alright, see that? That's just, that is post-mint damage. That coin has been destroyed outside the mint. It is, worth a penny now. So, Thomas, how are you doing tonight? Let's see, this is a 2011? Yeah. I would also encourage you all, if you're not, if you start getting into collecting really well, or really a lot. Ooh, I dropped my speaker. I hope y'all can still hear me, because I think my speakers somehow control the sound. But what I was going to say was, if you really start getting into collecting, I suggest you join clubs like the ANA, which is the American Numismatic Association, or if you like errors and varieties, coins with mistakes on them, like I do, then you should join CONECA. And I'm currently on the board of CONECA, running for re-election, and I think the results should be in soon, but I don't know. And I don't know what the results will be. So, wish me luck, because I need it. 1972, by the way, has a lot of different doubling. Yeah, that was a good time. Oh, and I was in Green Bay Wackies room the other night, or it was the other morning. It was sometime, and he was doing the live call in. I thought I might call in sometime and say hi. This is nasty. Look at all that crud on there. Probably that acetone would get rid of that, but again, I don't trust it. Yeah, 1972. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be condescending. Do you know what I mean when I say doubling? If not, I can show you. Because that's one of the major things that I'm looking for when I'm looking at these coins is I'm looking for doubling on the letters and images and the design. You were. I don't know if I don't know if I was in the room when you called. Yeah, I think it would be fun. I'm surprised Cab. I mean, not Cab. I think Green Bay actually knows who I am, which I've not been in his room as much as I would like to be, and so I kind of was. But one time I dropped in and he said, "Hey," but he acted like he knew who I was. Kind of threw me off. Um, but he's cool. I think his book is, or not his book, his movie looks really awesome. His kids movie. Thank you. I really mean that. Thank you so much. I've got a lot of, actually, a lot of stuff going on right now, and I could use all the prayers I can get. Um, I mean, I'm happy. I'm content. But life, just everybody needs some prayers for them every now and then. Have you noticed how many different years we've had? I mean, I haven't kept track, but again, that's one of the cool things about uh, circulator rolls. You get so many different years. Now, some are more common than others. Like, I'll see a lot of early 2000s or even like the 2000, the Shield sense. Uh, I want to slow down. On the reverse, on these memorial, on the memorial, you can often find doubling on the pillars or columns, whatever you want to call them. And if you want good websites, I recommend VarietyVista.com and DoubledDie.com. Yeah, Green Bay's awesome, and Cab 7. I actually had a dream that Cab 7 and I hung out. It was fun. Good dream. Cab gave me some tough love one time. I was having some personal issues, and I saw no solution, and I was about ready to give up. And he basically told me I better not, and he kind of let me have it a little bit. And I thought he was going to be nice and sweet and all that, and he always is, but he wasn't for my sake. He's like, look, I'm not going to let you get down on yourself and get depressed and give up. You can't do that. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. You're going to get through this. You have to. I'm like, well, I guess I will. And you know what? I sure did. I got through it just fine. Exactly. Yeah, me too, Thomas. I hope so. It's really cool. He's so creative. I'm kind of creative, but it's that's kind of. I wonder if that's just. Yeah, that's probably nothing. Um, but I've never gotten to do anything with it. Well, I say that I've actually been in some plays. I was in plays in. Well, I was behind the scenes in high school, but then in college and community theater, I've done probably about 8 different plays, and I love it. I love the theater. I always play bad guys though, like jerks, not like evil guys, but just jerks. I always get cast as jerks every time. And huh. Okay, I think that's damage. Wait, let's see. That's hard to tell. Yeah, that's damage. That almost looked like a die break to me, but I think that looks indented. So that's damage. Gosh, this feels thick. That, that feels like a thick penny. 1985, the year after I was born. I don't know if y'all noticed, but how much nicer or like cleaner and neater the designs were um, years ago as opposed to now, where it's just kind of flat and dull. Oop, let me do this. Oh, 1983. Little tip for you. A lot of people know about the 1982 Denver small date, but you don't always hear about the 1983. But let me back up. So in 1982, we had a composition change. We had we went from the the copper alloy to copper plated zinc, and there's an 82 small date and an 82 large date, and they all came from Philadelphia and Denver and San Francisco, obviously. But no copper, we're talking copper, small dates came from Denver, except for 2 so far that we know of. So those are rare. But also some copper 1983s came out. So I'm going to hold this aside and weigh it. And now I'm going to read chat again. So let me put this aside. Yes. Yeah, I do remember that. That was a good time. But my problem is I talked too much. I probably took up way more time than I should have. People are like, all right, you got 5 minutes, so I'll take 15. Wow, look at how just, this is all just worn down. This is just a nasty, nasty shape. Yeah, um, I love Cab Seven's channel. It was, I've been on YouTube, not on this channel, obviously, but I've been on YouTube since like 2006, and I have never seen anything like Cab Seven's channel. It is so amazing, so uplifting, and um, I really believe he would give me the shirt off his back if I asked. Or if I was being lazy, he would say, "Go buy your own damn shirt." You know, he's a sweet guy, but he'll give you tough love when you need it. And that's what I love about him. He's so real. You know, everything about him is sincere. And he's himself on camera, which that's one of the things that I've tried to do. I mean, I want to be somewhat professional, but I can't be totally um, somebody else. You know, I'm not gonna act on camera. I'm gonna be myself, and I mean, I have to be somewhat professional, but again, I think like Cab Seven. You know, I'm gonna be myself. What is going on with that? Is that just the light? Yeah, that was the light. There are a lot of genuine people that go into Cab Seven's room. And Green Bay Wacky, he is literally just wacky. I love him too. Hey, Dizzy. Come here, buddy. Come on. Can y'all hear my cat in the background? Did you hear the way he said that? It sounded like he says, "Oh man." He does that all the time, and it sounds just like, "Oh man." But yeah, if y'all have not checked out those channels, I recommend you do. Green Bay Wacky and definitely Cab 7. I know, it's so sad. Actually, and I don't know, well, I won't name names, but a person close to me, well, I think I can say family member. I had a family member who worked for someone, or not for, but well, started. Hey, come on, man, what are you doing, Dizzy? Either cuddle with me or get out of my way. Pick one. No, I had a relative who originally worked with someone when they were a teen, and they grew up and then they worked with the person, and that person, not with my family member, but that person died of a heart attack. I guess a couple of weeks ago, and my relative was there, like tried to save the person, and it just couldn't. I felt just that is just so sad. In fact, I lost a relative around Thanksgiving coming up. About, I guess it's been three, 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and that's tough. And my mom's mom died around Christmas. And that was in '77. She was actually born the same year as Elvis and died the same year as Elvis. And as it turns out, which I don't know if you can tell, but well, yeah, you can't really see much, but anyway, I'm an Elvis fan. I've got Elvis stuff all over my apartment. I love you, Dizzy, buddy. What are you doing? My cat's behind the computer monitor. I'll probably finish up this roll and then get off here, but I've got several more cents to look through. Yeah, I cannot imagine though. Yeah, Lulu, love you, and Donna Shaw, also very good people. But yeah, I think about you. I cannot imagine losing a son. I've got a nephew, and that would just, I mean, that would destroy me. Absolutely destroy me. So I admire your courage and know that your son lives on through you and your memories. You know, that's the best way we can keep our our friends and family alive is through the memories. I love my cat. He knows when I'm upset. If y'all don't have a cat, you should get one. A nice one. If you raise them from when they're a baby, they're better. He is. I've had him since he was 4 weeks old. He was abandoned at the public library, and long story short, my nephew found him, and I ended up having to take him. I didn't have to, but no one else could, and I didn't want to get rid of him, so I took him, and I get mad and I yell at him, don't I, Dizzy boy? I get mad if you yell at you, but he's really, I don't know what I'd do without him. You got 3 cats? I would love to hear more about your niece, by the way. You need to, I don't know, we need to connect somehow. And I hope your niece is doing well. You know, spina bifida, it's tough. It's very, very, very tough. Um, Tougher than a lot of people realize in many different ways. But it can't stop us from doing what we want to do. I mean, it can stop us from doing some things we want to do. I'm not, and if you disagree, that's totally fine. I'm not one to say that I can do anything I put my mind to, but I'm not one that if I want to do something, someone can tell me I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I know I've got some limitations, but I know there are things that I can do. Like, there are certain services that companies have wanted me to have, like like, they wanted people to come in and bathe me and dress me, and I'm like, look, I can do that. I can do that myself. I do not want you bathing me and dressing me unless you're, a 30-year-old cute whatever. I can do that myself. You've got a book of matches with Elvis Presley on the front, the old striker on the front of it. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Her niece, I think, Thomas. Yeah. Well, my thing is, like, people, I prefer the, again, I'm weird. I'll tell you that right now. I'm weird. Um, I don't like the term handicapped. I prefer the term disabled because to me, disabled means an inability to do something. And if you look at it as that, we all have a disability of some sort. And so that's kind of my vibe. That's just kind of how I like to see it. We're all disabled in some way. You know, how many people can how many people have the ability to play professional football or baseball or and we're talking top athletes. How many? I mean, take for instance Michael Jordan. I'm not a big sports person, but I know Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He tried to he tried to play baseball, failed miserably. A failure at baseball. So I would say, he's got an inability to play baseball well. So there we go. That's my 2 cents worth. Animals are smart. My cat knows when I'm feeling bad and knows when I'm upset or when I'm. Oh, My cat knows when he's in trouble. He will. I will get onto him, and he will meow, but it's this certain meow, and it sounds just like he's saying, "I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you getting mad at me?" And I'm like, "You know what you did." I had a cat that was not 19, was 9. That's the oldest cat I've ever had. I really miss him. His name was Bubby. It was kind of fun. Was that die crack? I can't tell. I had a. He was 9 years old, and he was my favorite cat. Right, Jenny. Um, Yeah, no, my cat. I was try. He didn't have a name, and I was trying to call him Baby and Bubba at the same time, and it came out Bubby, and so he became Bubby. That was just, it was just like, all right, that's his name. And then Dizzy was actually Daisy because we thought it was a girl. And so for about 6 months, my Dizzy was Daisy. And then he turned around and I saw that he was a guy. I'm like, okay, he is no longer Dizzy. I mean, no longer Daisy. When was your daughter on the live stream? I mean, excuse me, your niece, Jenny. When was she on the live stream? I'm trying to remember if I saw it. And is she? Oh, your cat. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I reversed those. Um, is your niece in regular school? They thought that I was going to have to be homeschooled or well, actually, what they tried to do, they tried to put me in a school for the mentally disabled. It was a preschool, Head Start. I mean, not Head Start. It was a. I did go to a Head Start, but there was a before that. They tried to put me in a school, um, like a preschool, and they kicked me out because I was too smart. That's kind of one of my proud little things is I got kicked out because I was too smart. And in Head Start, I was there was a bully. He was always picking on people, not just me, everybody. And he was nasty and mean, called people names, just just a regular bully. But he was about 3, and he was about 3 times my size. I was skinnier back then, and I was walking with a walker at the time. It's all I'd ever used. And one day, this is terrible. One day I just had enough, and I didn't throw my walker at him, but I threw it near him. I threw my walker near him after I'd had enough, and he never messed with anybody again. And from that day forward, I had to learn to walk with crutches. And it took me a day. I learned to walk with crutches, the forearm, not the under the shoulder, but the forearm crutches. It took me about a day to learn. I figured it out. That was pretty funny. Uh, yeah, I didn't want to hurt him. I just wanted to send him a message. Apparently, he got the picture. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm actually really lucky. I will say that about the spina bifida, especially mine. Um, I am so lucky that I was able to walk with crutches as well as I did. In fact, I could walk some distance without the crutches, which, I mean, you just don't see a lot. And now I've got no legs. I mean, I've got legs, but I'm a below the knee amputee now and confined to the wheelchair. But man, it was so wonderful that I was able to walk for so long. And when I get, it's complicated, but when I get, please let this. Oh, I thought I was gonna get lucky and be the 95 double die. Um, I will eventually be able to get prosthetics, but until then, I'm stuck in the chair. But that's all right. Yeah, if anyone ever picks on your niece, just tell her to throw the walker near them, not at them, but near them. This roll has been no good to me at all. His ear does look kind of funky. The way it's attached. Oh, that's just a. Oh, that's a spot. No wonder. Yeah, this roll has not been good to me at all. Just regular cents. I'm down to the last few coins, which is good because it's getting on 9 o'clock my time. I'm a night owl though, so I'll be up all night. Plus, I had a couple of good naps today. Hmm. Yes, it's nothing. Again, if you're handling coins, it's best to use gloves. I didn't feel like it tonight. And don't touch your nose either. My cat's over here just laying beside me. Aw, okay. Cat snoring. I'm gonna open up another roll. I'll probably shut down chat here in a second. But now that I'm looking at coins, kind of excited to look at coins. Ooh. Ooh. That's not good. Yawning is not good. I'm not going to be able to look at more coins. And then I'm falling asleep more than likely. Wow, look at that. That's destroyed. That has seen better days. Gee, look at that. I wouldn't pay a penny for that. Gotta wake up. Wow, that's interesting. Split. Zinkrot, maybe? That has some pretty nice luster. $96. All right, my views are dropping. People are getting tired already. I don't blame them. I am too. I'll probably end my live stream here in a minute. Okay, let's see. All right, I think I'm gonna end chat here because it's gone down to a halt. But Thomas and Jenny, thank you so much for joining me and chatting. And let's see if there was anybody else that I missed. I don't think so. Nope. Thank you all so much for joining me, and thanks for the likes and the comments and the thumbs up and the subscribing. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will be back here next Monday about 7 p.m. Central. And I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Y'all have a good one.